Have their homework out now. Alright, on Monday we did 3-1 and 3-3, and it was systems of equations and inequalities. And on 3.1, we're going over every one of them, so pay attention. Alright, so how many did we have to do on 3-1? You just did 1 through 6, correct? Okay. Now, I'm going to go over every one of these because this is what I expect tomorrow when you take your quiz. I'm going to say that again. Everybody's going to take a quiz. 3-1 and 3-3. Even those that were not here Monday. You're going to take a quiz on 3-1 and 3-3 because I'm going over it right now. Okay? Everybody got it? So, somebody help me out. What do we have to do when we're graphing systems of equations? What is the whole point to graphing them? What are we trying to find? An intercept. We're trying to find where these two lines do what? They intersect. Where these two lines intersect. Remember, two lines can intersect in one point. They can intersect in one point. Bless you. They can be parallel lines and they'll never intersect, meaning that the answer is no solution. They never intersect. Now's not the time to be coloring on your phone, looking around, anything else. Now's the time to be paying attention. Or they could be the exact same line, which is, what's that answer? Infinite solutions, because they intersect at every point, okay? So we're looking for one of these three things when we're graphing. Now, when we're graphing, this goes back to something we've done weeks and weeks now. When we're graphing, we've got to put it in slope-intercept form, right? Because we want to find the slope and the intercept. Now, on the steps that I gave you Monday, first thing it says is solve both of the equations for y. Y equals mx plus b. So is this one that I just drew the arrow from in slope-intercept form? Is that first equation in y equals mx plus b form? No. So we got to put it in y equals mx plus b form. So we're going to do what to that x? It's on their left side and it's positive. We want it on the right side and it'll be negative, right? So don't forget, here's where a lot of you are making mistakes. That's negative 2y equals. Always put the x first. Like I said, when it's positive on the left, it'll be negative on the right. Do I need to write the 0? No, I don't need to write the 0. There's nothing there to write. Alright, so I got a negative 2 here. So it's being multiplied, so what do I need to do? Divide by negative 2. Now, if you didn't do this homework, probably what you should be doing right now is writing this down. Because what would really be bad is if I sit here and go over this for the next ever how long, and then I take it up and decide I'm going to give it to you for a grade. It would really be bad if I took it up and you got 0 because you were too lazy to write it down. Okay, so I'm going to divide by negative 2. Now, why would I say that? Because people are not doing what they need to be doing. So I divide by negative 2, and I get y equals, now remember, two negatives make a positive. So that's, and remember there's a 1 right here. So that's 1 over 2x. You can write it as x over 2. Somebody asked me this the other day. You can write it as x over 2. I wouldn't recommend it. It isn't wrong. But by putting this 1 over 2, that just tells you, all right, my slope is 1 over 2. Because somebody will tell me, oh, that slope is 2. And I'm going to say, no, that slope is not 2. That slope is 1/2, okay? So if you write it like this, that's okay. But get in the habit of doing that fraction right there, okay? All right, so this one's already in slope-intercept form. Let me erase. Just do this. Okay. Right, so this one's already in slope-intercept form. The next step, if you look back on your notes, the next step says identify M and B. So on this equation, M is, who's got the hiccups? Who do I hear? Nobody's got hiccups? Who's making that noise? Somebody's tapping or doing something. Do y'all hear that? Y'all hear that noise? It's like over here somewhere. Okay, I guess it's me. Okay, anyway. All right, so what's M here? What is the number in front of the X? 1/2. 1/2. What's B? What's being added out here? 0. There's nothing there, so 0. All right, so let's go ahead and graph this line. And y'all got your graphs there. And remember, you only need 2 lines to make or 2 points to make a line. But when we're doing this, we need to have more than those 2 points so we can graph it correctly. So we start at 0, that's our y-intercept. Oops. Start at 0, and then our slope is positive, so up 1, right 2. So from here, and this is what I mean by show your points. Show these points where you're graphing it or you're going down. Because that's the first thing, if you miss this problem, I'm going to look to see that you graph the equations correctly. Because a lot of times people will just get really messy and they'll just slap some kind of line down there. All right, so we've got that one. Is everybody good on that, graphing that line? If you are not, please say something now. I had somebody, Christy and I were talking the other day, and she says, I don't like to talk in class. And I said, well, that's fine, but I need you to ask me questions. But let me just say this to everybody. Let's say, all right, Nick, I'm going to pick on Nick because he's my nephew. Nick, you like talking in class? Depends on what? The teacher? You like standing in class, Nick? You like standing up in class? Okay. Okay. So, all right. Why would you not want to speak up in class? Why would you not want to say, hey, I don't understand that? Why would you say stuff? Dawson, why would you not want to speak up in class?
Because you're afraid it's going to be the wrong answer.
You're afraid it's going to be the wrong answer. Okay, what happens if it's the wrong answer?
You do it again.
Okay, well, you do it again. But what are you, and I'm not just saying this because Dawson, he's not saying technically he would be afraid. You're going to stand, leaning back in your chair. What happens when you give the wrong answer? I'm going to probably say, no, not exactly. Or a good guess, but not really. What would be the worst thing that would happen? Everybody's going to laugh at you. Well, I assure you, out of 30-something people in here, there ain't but about 2 at this moment that have any right to laugh. And even those people, or me, have no right to laugh at you. Everybody makes mistakes, correct? How many times have I stood up here and made mistakes? 4? I'm sure it's more than 4, but okay. But what happens? You make a mistake and you go on, right? What happens when, Destiny, what happens when you miss a shot? You quit shooting? No? Do you say, excuse me, coach, take me out? You don't do that? Hayden, you want to shoot too?
Yeah.
What happens when you don't hit the target? You quit shooting? No. All right. So we've established the worst thing that can happen is what? I make fun of you. Your classmates make fun of you. That'd be about the worst that could happen, right? What would be worse? Them laughing at you, bless you, or you failing? I mean, at the immediate point in time, you might think it's really embarrassing for somebody to laugh at you. But what would be more embarrassing? Being laughed at for maybe 5 seconds right here, or sitting in this class next semester with freshmen? What would be more embarrassing? Sitting in class next semester with freshmen while all your other buddies are in Math 2 with their classmates. Now, you may not, hey, I don't know, you may like the 8th graders right now. You may want to be with them, I don't know. But to me, 5 seconds worth of being laughed at versus an entire semester of sitting there with people that aren't your classmates, they're not equal. Right? So my point is to do what? Ask questions. If you don't understand, let me know. I don't know that you don't understand until I see tests. And I'm looking out and I'm like, dear God, Destiny did not know what she was doing. Samuel did not know what he was doing. Was Shelby even sitting in my class for the last week? Because God knows none of this makes sense. Alright, so don't let me know. Will I make fun of you? Probably. Because that's just me. Will I make fun of myself sometimes? Yeah. Do I get mad? Yes. Do I get over it? Yes. Can we have fun? Yes. Can we study? Yes. Should you study? Yes. Because guess what I just did? I printed out progress reports, but guess who I also printed them out for? Well, that's your copy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have an extra copy. Yeah, I have one for me. Mr. Forster has them, yes. No. Who might it affect right now if they were not doing well? Who do you have to account to? Besides me, besides you, besides your parents? Your coach. Okay? And y'all got to remember what you're doing now. Just because you might be failing right now, but guess what that affects? It affects next semester. If you fail 2 or more classes right now, you are ineligible next semester. Okay, now your coach right now is not going to be real happy. Your parents shouldn't be real happy. But, Kelsey, you want to be ineligible for volleyball next year? No. Tasha, you want to be ineligible for volleyball? Aiden, you want to be ineligible for football? No. Shelby, you want to be ineligible for cheerleading? No. Everybody's got something you got to be accountable for. No matter, like, whatever it is. If it's a sport, you've got to pass. Along with attendance, you got to do that too. So, long story short, speech is over with. Point is, ask questions. Okay? Ask questions. Did I not make fun of myself earlier when I was telling you how stupid I am with regard to Snapchat? I mean, that's just the way it is. I don't know what I'm doing. And Aubrey came in here and she's like, "What are you?" I was just telling her how bad I am at Snapchat. She's like, "Yeah, there you are." Anyway, all right, back to this one. I'm gonna start going quicker. Is this one already in the form we need it to be in? Y equals 2x minus 3.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. All right. So what's m? M is 2 over 1. Remember, always a fraction. M is 2 over 1. B is negative 3. Good. Don't forget that negative comes with it. So we start at negative 3 and put a dot. So on the y-intercept, y-axis I mean, put a negative 3. All right. Slope is positive. So up 2, right 1. 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 2, right 1, or down 2, left 1. And this is not straight at all, so don't laugh when y'all pretend it's straight. Okay, so we got it on there. Yours, I hope, looks a whole lot better than that. Now, the whole point, like I said at the very beginning, was dear Lord, Mr. Capehart had a field day with that one. We were trying to figure out what? Where they intersected. Well, where do they intersect? What's that point right there?
2, 1. 2, 2. No.
Where's that point on y'all's graph?
I got E.
Mine looks like 3, 3.
We got 2.
2, 1.
2, 1?
It's 2, 3. That's what mine is. Yeah, that's what mine is.
It's 2, 1, because I
showed
you that one. Okay, so if it's 2, 1, I've graphed something wrong. So let me go back, because if it's 2, 1, this one hits 2, 1, but this blue one doesn't hit 2, 1. So what have I done wrong there? Because I've screwed up on this. Nobody told me, and I screwed up on this one. I started at 0, but I just told about it. I just made a mistake.
Your blue line isn't steep enough because it's a 1, 1.
I did 1, 1, didn't I?
Yeah.
So this is all wrong. Oops. Y'all just copying away on what I did.
You said if you didn't.
Well, I told y'all gotta let me know. Somebody should have said, "Hey, Dingleberry, you grabbed that one wrong." All right, 0, 0. Let me try this again. Up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2. Down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2. All right, now it's 2, 1. Lord have mercy, why are y'all saying anything? So right here, now, just to have this graph and not identify that point, if you turn this in right here, I'm going to say, what's the intersection? Don't assume that I know what that point is. You have to write it down there. 2, 1. Okay? Everybody got that one? All right, next one. Again, like I said, I'm going to have to go a lot faster to get through what we need to. All right, so draw my graph. So while I'm drawing, are these equations in the form we need them to be in? All right, so the first one, I need to figure out how to just get me a graph on here. All right, the first one, x plus 2y equals 4. So you told me it's not in the form I need it to be in. So you've got to start thinking, when you get these problems, when you get these problems, you got to start thinking to yourself, okay, do y'all talk to yourselves when you're doing stuff, like in your head? I mean, that's what I do. And if I'm at home, I'm talking out loud to myself. I'm like, all right, this is positive over here, so when I bring it over, it's going to be negative. Because it helps me when I talk stuff out, it helps me remember it. Helps me kind of think about, all right, is that right or wrong? And what's bad is when I answer myself. I'm like, all right, that's right. So next thing, y is still not by itself. I got a 2 that's being multiplied. So we have to divide everything by 2. So divide everything by 2. And we get y equals, this time, negative 1/2 x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Yeah? Okay, what's m? What's my slope? Negative 1/2. The number in front of the x, what's b? B is 2. Alright, so now, b is 2. So I got this. Put a dot on 2. See if I can do this without screwing the slope up again. So this time it's negative. So instead of up 1, right 2, I'm going up 1, left 2. So y'all make sure, up 1, left 2. Up 1, left 2. Or down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. Okay. Does that look like y'all's? Something like it? Okay. Alright, so the next one, what's the next equation? 2x minus 3y equals 1. And Destiny was asking me what kind of work you have to show. This is the work that I need to see. Where you solve the equation, what m and b are, and then like what your points are. I'll try to stand on this side, Sarah. Y'all just got to let me know if I'm in your way. Alright, so again, I'm talking this out. Not in the form I need it to be in. So I got to bring this 2x over. Well, if it's positive on this side, it's negative over here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down my negative 3y. That's going to be minus 2x plus 1. All right, first step, easy enough. Next step, I got that negative 3. What do we do with that number in front of the y? We always do what? Divide. So we're going to divide everything by negative 3. So we get y equals, now 2 negatives make a positive, 2/3 x, and there's a plus and a minus, so minus 1/3. Don't make it a decimal, just leave it 1/3. Minus 1/3. So what's m here? 2/3? You should be able to tell me that just looking at the equation. What's b? Negative 1/3. It's going to be a little bit tricky graphing this one, but that's okay. We can handle this. So negative 1/3, remember that's negative 0.3. So not to a half, like if I thought, of course my graph's kind of jacked up, if I thought that was a half, negative 1/3 is a little bit closer. So negative 1/3, now I go up to, so up to positive, right? Right, 3. 3. So up to 1, 2, 3, or down to left 3, down 2, left 3. Alright. Did I screw something up? What point am I going to? Up to, I was going to right here, right? Up to. Up to, right, 3. Why did I not make that one bigger? Okay.
You open the origin or you
Do one? Do I go from what?
the origin?
No, the only time you start at the origin is if b is 0. So I started at negative 1/3. Now, I'm guessing and looking at this, is this probably should have intersected right here at 2, 1 again. Is that correct?
That's what I got, but I did not get
It's a little.
I did not get one.
It's a
side.
little off.
But it was pretty close to 2, 1? Okay. How could we check that? We didn't talk about this the other day. How would we check that? If I have this point and I have these two equations, I've got this one and I have this one. What could I do to check that answer? Could I plug x and y in there? Yeah, that's probably what you should do if you ever have a question. So I've got x plus 2y equals 4. Well, x is 2, y is 1. All right, does 2 plus 2 times 1, 2 equal 4. All right, so it works for this one. You got to make sure it works for both of them. That's one of the mistakes people will make. They'll only check one of them. So if you ever have a question, always just plug it back in. It's a y. So 2 times 2 minus 3 times 1. So 4 minus 3, does that equal 1? Yes and yes. So that was right. Okay? We good with that? All right, number 3. Are these in the form we need them to be in?
One of them is.
I heard one of them is. Alright, so 2x plus y equals 3. Just close the end. 1245, okay. Alright, 2x plus y equals 3. So that one's not in the form we need it to be in, is it? So I'm going to bring the 2x over, so y equals negative 2x plus 3. So m equals negative 2 over 1, b equals 3. Again, like I said, I'm going to have to go quicker, so make sure you're getting it. So I start at 3 on the y-axis, and it's negative, so I'll go up 2, left 1, or down 2, right 1. Alright, so there's that one. The next one is already in the form we want it to be in, so y equals 1/2 x minus 9/2. Yeah.
How did you get the 2 negative?
This one?
Yeah.
Because when it's positive on the left, it would be negative on the right. Alright, so that 9 over 2 is negative 4.5, negative 4.5. So I'll put a dot at negative 4.5, so 1, 2, 3, 4.5. And I'm going up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. I have no idea. I'm thinking it's this point right here. 3, negative 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what's that 4.5?
9 over 2.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to skip over to the other side, the inequalities, and do maybe, I hope we can get 2 in from there. All right. And I did post on the Google Classroom site, I found a site yesterday, or I found a YouTube video actually, of some more problems being worked out in case you still, are not understanding what's going on. So, all right, the first one, y plus 1 less than negative x. Is that in the form we need it to be in? No, we got to get that 1 and bring it over, right? So that's going to be y is less than negative x minus 1. Now it's in the form we need it to be in. So what's m? What's the number in front of the x? Negative 1 over 1. Negative 1 over 1. B is negative 1. So there's nothing different. We still graph the line the same way. So we start at negative 1. Negative 1 over 1 is up and left. We're down and right. Now the only thing different here is that line solid or dotted. And here's the new stuff. For those of you that weren't here Monday, is that line solid or dotted? Dotted, because it does not have a equal to on it. So that's dotted. So we draw a dotted line, and we have to shade it. So less than. Above the line or below the line?
Below.
Below the line. Now, this was something that the guy on the video said, you know how I was drawing lines the other day? He said do this. Draw circles or whatever, plus signs. I think that's what he drew. Draw circles so your graph doesn't look so messed up. So if you want to shade it, fine. That's what I think he did plus signs. Anyway, so the next one is y is greater than or equal to 1. Oops. All right, please, somebody tell me what kind of line that is. Horizontal line. How do I know it's horizontal? Because it's a y equals line. Horizontal line. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line at 1. Is it solid or dotted? Solid. So a horizontal line at 1. All right, that's easy enough. Is it above it or below it? What does greater than mean? Above it. So this time I'm going to put X's. And now he says, all right, where do you have the circles and the X's? What region do I have the circles and the X's? This little triangle right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so on your paper then, you would, now remember, this one's a solid line. This one's dotted, so it has to be kept dotted, and then everything in between here. Now, what is the solution to this? It's every point in that shaded region. So any point I pick right here, that's an answer. So there's an infinite number of points on this one. Not just one point, it's every point. Okay? I'll see if we can get one more. Is there one on there that maybe gave some of you some trouble? 2 should be an easy one, because 2, what's that x equals line? If y equals is horizontal, x equals vertical. So that's a vertical line at -2. So it'd be a dotted line at -2. So a dotted line, is it solid or dotted? Dotted. Because it's, so there's that one. Greater than, is that to the right or to the left? Greater than is this way. So here's my circles. Well, pretend like they're circles. They look like dyslexic 6s or something. All right, so the next one, 2y greater than or equal to 3x plus 6. That's almost in the form we need it to be in. We got a 2 there we got to get rid of, though. So divide by 2, and y is greater than or equal to 3 halves x plus 3. So m is 3 halves, b is 3. So I put a dot at 3 on the y. Let me get this one finished very quickly. Or is that us? Yeah, let me get this one finished. So go up 3, right 2, down 3, left 2. And that one's shaded. Guys, pay attention. That one's above, so where's it going to be shaded? Above. So it's this region right here. Alright, what I'm going to try to do is finish working out every one of these, and I'll post that video after school, so you can study tonight, okay? Alright, sorry I went over. Make sure you got your calculators and chairs up. Help each other out. If you'll put your calculators in front of your table, I'll try to help.